Yo, what's up, everybody? Bren here.
Hello, guys.
What's up? With my boy Kick here, but been super sick the last 3 or 4 days, so didn't stream on Tuesday, but super excited. Just about this week in general. Bitcoin obviously fucking exploding as expected. But today we have a special guest, my friend Kick Charts. For those of you guys don't know, I've been watching Kick and interacting with him for a bit on the timeline the last few months. This guy has posts a lot of great chart setups, a lot of great insight. Somebody I've seen go from whatever under 1,000 followers to 7,000 followers now, growing. Obviously, what that tells you is that people are super interested in and love what he's posting. So definitely check him out if you haven't already. Super excited to have him on here today to hear a little bit about his story. I think it can be really relatable for a lot of people on here, as well as talk a lot about the market and how I personally see this period for crypto going into Q4 in 2026 potentially being the strongest period of mania that we've ever seen. I'm talking 2017, 2021 type of mania, but this time we have regulatory clarity that's going to allow, or at least we're coming up on a regulatory clarity that's going to allow creators and people to trade and do stuff in crypto without being scared of repercussions. So before we get started, if you guys could please like, retweet, comment, bookmark the stream so we can get this out to more people, always appreciated. But before we get started, Kick, how you doing today, brother?
Hello, Brent. Thank you for giving me this opportunity today to talk about my story with crypto and talk the market, etc. So it all started with uh, when my father 5 years ago told me about the word Bitcoin. I was like, "What's that?" And then I started digging. I started learning about crypto, and the passion I always had was about how can I, can I make money from trading? I was like, what is the price? What's the candles? What's all these Fibonacci's, trend lines, patterns, all this stuff. So by the time I I was getting more in depth with technicals and stuff like that, um, and I think uh, the previous summer I joined your Telegram. Your channel was one of the first Telegram channels I got into,
Wow.
and yeah, it all started with what if I try to trade? What if I take the first step?
Hell yeah. And
Uh,
that's why I want to have you on here today. Like I said, I feel like your story from the little bit that you've told me, I'm super excited to hear more of what today, but I think really relatable to people who might be coming into crypto just recently this year or the last few years, still trying to kind of find their footing. I've
yeah,
seen you go, at least just from what I've seen, go from, you know, from starting to just starting a few years ago to really finding your footing. So before though, you were talking a little bit about it, but Kick, when did you first start messing with crypto? You had told me you're by the way, you're still in college, correct?
yeah. I'm getting my degree soon.
Right on.
Uh,
When did you
but
start when did you start messing with crypto? You said when it was a talk with your dad, right? When was that?
5 years ago, 5 years ago, I heard about Bitcoin the first time, and I was like, "What the fuck is that? What is Bitcoin?" And yeah, I started digging around for crypto in general, but uh, the trading journey for me started like almost 2 years ago. I
Okay.
started with some pre-sales and stuff like that. I didn't know stuff
With
with
pre-sales, you said?
technicals. Yeah, pre-sales.
Okay. Right on. What were
Uh,
some of the few pre-sales that you got into and like how did it go?
um, one one I think the most profitable pre-sale I ever had was I don't know if you know it, Solidus AI Tech. It was a coin
Mm,
that uh, I think two 2 or 3 years ago.
okay.
I don't know,
2 or 3
but
years ago. So this was like the beginning of the bull market in like 2023, right? Like kind of when
yeah. Until this time, I was just studying about some patterns, all basic stuff,
yeah.
uh, and yeah, I made some money with this pre-sale. I lost it everything, when I started trading money the previous summer on memes. Like I discovered memes and I was like, can I make money from memes? What are memes, bro?
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, so I lost everything back then.
So you lost
Uh,
everything, what, like in 2023, 2024, kind of when like Pepe and that kind of first wave whiff and all that stuff started coming around, or when was that?
yeah, the previous summer, the previous July, I
Okay.
started trading memes.
Okay.
I remember the first names. For me, my first names were Mitzi, Billy, Popcat, what else? Whiff,
Okay.
and all these derivatives that came after that. I lost everything there.
Yeah.
I would get on a losing streak
Mhm.
until this March or April. But I started posting from this year, from January. So I said, okay, I'm gonna start posting about setups and stuff I like. I thought I had good ideas. It seems I had, uh, and I really like the communication from people inside of crypto Twitter. I made a lot of friends. I helped people.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, and I'm here today. So I don't know.
Before I forget, what is somebody who I always get this question all the time on these streams, man. It's like everybody always asks, how can I go from, somebody who doesn't know anybody in crypto to use crypto Twitter to my advantage? And I always tell people, reply, be like a smart, intentional like reply guy and reaching out to people in DMs in the smart way and stuff. But what is somebody, you said you started posting just what, like a year ago or
I
something?
start I started posting in January,
January. Okay.
like
So yeah,
yeah,
just 9 months ago.
2025.
What is a few things that you've done that that you kind of helped you network and kind of connect with the right people that maybe somebody that's listening on this stream today could utilize?
So I always like to reply to genuine people. Like, uh, for example, when I found out about, I don't know if you know him, Market Watcher.
Who? I'm sorry.
Uh, Market Watcher. He's one of
Market
the
Watcher. Yeah.
best chartists out there. And I don't know, it came in a very natural way from me to follow accounts that I found genuine and helpful. And I always I was myself. I was just responding to everything I liked. Uh, but yeah, being a reply guy is very good.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
And also be genuine. Do good. Help people. Just help people with your way. This is the way.
100%, brother. Yeah. If you
Yeah.
literally just those two things, that's what I would say too is just being a reply guy, not in like a weird way, but just like replying genuine.
Yeah, no weird way. Just don't yap. Just say something if you need to say something.
Exactly. Be
Yeah.
intentional. Be
Yeah,
intentional.
yeah.
Be genuine, like you said, and then just be yourself. People can really, especially today with AI and how everybody's starting to use. A lot of people are using AI to write their tweets and all that. Just just
Yeah.
going forward, this is something I've been talking about with my friend and my producer about. Like, I feel like the market and everybody's just really going to value like being genuine and especially being human.
Yeah.
So just being yourself and especially documenting. And that's why I like what Kicks content is. It's not just information; it's documenting your journey. Those are always the people I've found. Um,
Yeah, yeah. I just
works.
uh, I opened some charts from CT, from me. I searched coins, everything. I charted everything I could chart, and
Yeah,
I was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna post it. What will happen?"
exactly.
And I'm here today. I'm like, I don't know how.
Yeah, man, it's beautiful. Crypto Twitter. Before we move on, I like crypto Twitter is definitely like the best place. Doesn't matter if it's crypto. Really stocks, like anything you're trying to learn, it's the best social media site in the world to be able to learn so much from the experts who just give out so much free information and then actually
Yeah,
interact with some of the most notable people in every field, getting a reply like just because of how the tweets work. It's just there's no other social media site like that. So
yeah, one hundred
especially
percent.
crypto, yeah, you definitely take crypto Twitter seriously. Now, you said in 2023 you kind of you got to start over. I've had to do that a few times in my career too. What are some of the lessons that you learned in that first wave that you kind of learned from and you know that allowed you to, on the second run around, really find more success?
Uh, so yeah, I learned that there is no easy money out there. Okay, you have to you have to really work hard if you want to uh, be profitable. Uh, second, secondly, don't trade based on what you see from big accounts. Don't trade on high volume. Like don't just open. Don't just buy if you see a green candle. Uh, always have a plan. Okay, always have a plan and trade uh, on your own. That's it.
Right on.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
definitely
Yeah.
agree. Definitely wanna you wanna learn as much as you can from other people. Like, I feel like the only reason I've been able to learn so much the last 4 or 5 years I've been really serious with crypto is because I've learned from a bunch of experts. But like just learning interviews, podcasts, all that. But at the same time, you want to on every trade form your own thesis. Don't just blindly ape into
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
sell
Yeah.
anything based on what anybody else is doing. Make sure
Sorry.
that that thesis makes sense to you, right? For example,
Yeah.
there's plenty of accounts the last few weeks who, I don't blame them. That's just what they saw the market as, right? What they saw happening. That called the top, like thought that we topped, right at the bottom.
Yeah.
Blindly following that information without making sure it made sense to you, like you could just lose money and sell everything at the bottom.
Yeah. This works in both ways. Yeah.
100%. Okay, so you said it.
Also, I
Go
would
ahead.
like to add that for me, it worked for me. If you want to learn the faster way, just make every possible mistake with money you don't need now. Just make everything wrong for 1 or 2 months, and you will like, oh, this is how to lose everything. Okay, now I'm gonna make it all back.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's exactly what I did with Forex when I first started in
Oh,
2015. Yeah, first started with Forex, and didn't have a lot of money back then, so I definitely was blowing accounts like most people. Learned so much from that, but like you were saying, I blew what was a lot of money for me back then, but like thousands of dollars. Whereas maybe
hmm
if I had a lot of money back then, I might have put a lot more and lost what I couldn't afford to lose or a bigger amount. So definitely play don't be afraid to play with a couple $100, especially with perps or anything like that. Even in meme coins, because again, when you the first few years in crypto, focus on learning and getting those skills down, whether it be through charts, uh, you know, on chain stuff, whatever it may be. Because once you learn that, you can print forever.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
do see before want to move on to the next question. I do see a bunch of the guys in the chat from the channel. Shout out to everybody. I am asking Kick a little bit about his journey right now. After that, if you are just pulled up, we are going to go over Bitcoin, ETH, Sol, exactly what Kick and I see happening in Q4 and Q in the 2026. Going to go over a bunch of charts, all that good stuff. Definitely leave your comments, questions, everything in the chat. We'll definitely check that out. But Kick, you said so that first round with all that, when you said you lost everything. Now, after that point, was it the AI stuff where you really kind of found your
yeah.
success?
Basically, during the AI season, I just found what system works for me. I studied patterns. I didn't trade too much. I just studied patterns and breakouts. So I took a lot of time for myself, and I don't know, it just all clicked. I figured out how to chart, how to make everything because all these years from 2020, I have read some books. I had an idea of the charts and all this stuff, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna put it all together and see what we can do. And I started posting charts and setups, and I figured out that I knew my stuff, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go full time now and do it the right way. So yeah, I
Amazing,
didn't make much money back then, but lately the past 4 to 5 months, I can say I'm profitable.
amazing, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
So
so what
I'm
is
building something.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, and really what counts, and especially for people watching your stuff, is that the chart setups and the trades play out a lot of time, most of the time, in your
Yeah,
favor. So, as you guys are seeing right now, in a time where crypto's pretty quiet, especially right now, it's pretty nuts. You're seeing Kick get some pretty great engagement, especially with his size of his account. So definitely love to see these chart setups play out. Now, what are some of the plays the last 4 or 5 months? You said you found some good success. What are some of some of your bigger plays the last 4 months, 4 or 5 months, or really the last year in AI or whatever?
uh, so my best plays was were I remember. Do you remember back when we had the bond season?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I made some money with Ikun. I made some money with Hoshiko. Uh, then I made some with startup, the I believe meme. Um, what else? And stablecoin, of course. I'm just I have a full ported on stablecoin almost right now. Uh, what else? Troll was a big win. Um, let me check. Let me check.
Okay, so
I got some money from a good trade in Uranus.
nice,
Also,
nice.
Neat was a good one. Neat also, yeah, stuff like that.
Wow. So back in you said you did play like the AI Zero Bro, AI XBT, all that stuff. You were around for that, right?
Yeah, I was around, but I didn't trade too much then.
Okay.
I just
Right on.
took the time to learn. I was like, I lost some money, but it wasn't too much. I'm like, okay, I can afford it.
Yeah. No, that's good. That was a good time to learn. I remember AI.
Yeah,
A lot of
yeah.
people thought, that it was going to be the next big, asset class. I think it just sprouted up in a really interesting time where like the market was topping out. I think the AI stuff kind of sprouted out now. It might have more of a follow through. But okay, interesting. So neat, all of those good plays. That's cool. Now, what if you were talking about believe and launch? What is your kind of view on ICE? ICM. I'm really just the last few weeks really starting to dive in to the launch coin like flywheel and exactly how these ICM launches in the future like could look. And I think it's like an interesting ground, like right, because they're trying to tokenize actual equities, like all the existing equities, startups, and trying to tokenize them and put them on chain. But I think it's really interesting the launch the believe launchpad thing and launching coins directly like from a meme coin, like it's a whole different thing than launching through a traditional equity on chain. So I think it's just like this whole brand new thing, and I think it's going to be super exciting. It's interesting. I don't know if you saw Kled is absolutely going crazy. uh I started learning about that
Glad. Oh, what's this?
I saw him on Thread Guy's stream. The guy Avi Feldman's behind it. Essentially, what they provide is data for these different companies that need dash cam data for cars, Uber, stuff like that. But what they
Okay,
do is that the contracts that they receive, 30% of every single contract, whether it's $1 million contract, eventually they get $1 billion contracts. That's what he says his goal is they put 30% of that back into the coin. So if they get $1 billion contract, they take $300 million and buy Kled back. So it's just super interesting. I don't know too much about the business to talk too much about it, but it's just this interesting concept of launching companies straight on chain through a token, not through the traditional equities route. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Have you been studying this a lot? Are you a big believer in the Believe ecosystem or?
uh, no clue about it at all, but sounds really interesting, bro. Uh,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
could be the next big thing. I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, no, to be honest, I didn't really dive too much into the whole
Yeah, me neither.
Believe stuff until recently. So it seems like you're mostly nowadays focusing a lot on USDUC, troll, a lot of these movement memes. Uh,
Yeah,
okay.
I
So
mean, I'm in the capital building phase now, so my focus is only on the charts and don't really dig into anything.
yeah, right on. I want to get into more meme coins and exactly what you're looking at. I want to look at the chat real quick first. Adidas says, even I lost everything last year, was sad and learned whole year used my savings as a student. Now I'm up by quite good and recovered all losses now. That's what's up, Adita. That's exactly, you just got to keep
Good
going.
job, man.
Got to keep
Yeah.
going. It takes most people, it takes a few years, man, and most people who make it within a year or two tend to give it back. So you just got to focus the first few years on just learning, man. So good on you. El Tomo says ICM and prediction markets will be hotter than AI was last year. I believe it, bro. I think that again that we're entering like the perfect kind of stars aligning with obviously the majors moving up, regulatory clarity kind of coming around the last few years or the last 6 months. We have a administration I'm sorry, like a government that's fully trying to pretty much deregulate the industry so that it can thrive. All of these things combined, I think, could lead to like the biggest normie hype cycle we've ever seen. So we'll talk a little bit about that in a second. Emery says Ondo. Yeah, we'll look at Ondo. Oh, I see what you're saying. Cled says sell the data you upload to their app site to the AI companies. Yeah, exactly. What's up, Carl? How you doing? Pretentious Bear says, how long do you guys see this current cycle going on? Are we free from the usual 4 year cycles with more institutional money coming in? We'll go over that bit. We'll go over that right now. Actually, I'll just take that. So, been talking a lot about in the streams about this exact question pretty much every week. Right, that's really what's on everybody's mind in crypto, right? And I think it simply breaks down to nobody knows 100% what's going to happen, but it comes down to probabilities and looking at the data. And I think a lot of people are kind of like the biggest consensus is that we're going to top out in 2025 because every other cycle topped out in year 4, right? And I get it, people most of the times things aren't different, but I think there are some obvious changes this cycle from 2023 now on to now that are very different than 2021. First, just with the price action. If you look at the 2017 and 2021 bear markets, I'm sorry, bull markets, they were very up only. Like Bitcoin bottomed out in 2020. I'm sorry, yeah, Bitcoin bottomed out in 2020 at $4,000 and sent to all the way to 68,000 in a matter of a year. Okay. Whereas, same thing in 2017. It went from, $200 to 20K in a matter of about a year. So what we're seeing in this bull market since 2023 is much different. Instead of just up only for a year, we're seeing Bitcoin move up and then correct for 6 months, move up and correct for 6 months, move up and correct for 6 months.
To be
What that
honest, this looks healthier, in my opinion. I don't know.
Exactly. That's what I was about. That's a great point. I'm glad you said that because that's
Okay.
exactly I think what most people are discounting right now is that they're all they see is price up from 15,000 to 125 in 3 years, and again not realizing that we've had 6 month corrections in between, which we've seen ha- brings sentiment down, deleverages the market, brings everything to a big reset. And that's kind of how I see these big corrections as resets for the market every time. And what I think that's going to allow most likely is for us to move into 2026, maybe 2027, um, again, because of these resets. And then, as well as you really look at these 4 year cycles, a lot of it has just lined up with liquidity cycles in the past and business cycles. Whereas now it's actually showing that the liquidity is pointing to more upside. So I think just in the past cycles, the halvings kind of happened to line up with how these business cycles lined up. But again, we're already seeing changes in price action, regulatory clarity, again, allowing for the industry to thrive. I think all of these things together are pointing to the likelihood that we're going to run way farther in the 2026 and 2027. And whoever asked that question, Pretentious Bear, where I would really be worried about a cycle top is if we get where Bitcoin goes to 100 to 200K, ETH goes to 7 or 8K, meme coins are up 10 or 20, 30x in a matter of, a couple months. That's when I would say, okay, we're likely going to see a bigger cycle top. But if we just continue to grind up here with 6 month corrections in between, I wouldn't be surprised if again we just continue to move up for years, similar to how the S&P 500 has looked for the last 10 or 15 years, where again it's kind of been up only. It's kind of been up only for the stock market S&P 500 since 2014. Yeah, since 2009, it's kind of been up only with these big sharp corrections every few years. Oh yeah, sorry. big corrections in between. I think that's what we could see for Bitcoin and ETH over the coming years. Again, because of global adoption and all that. So do we top out in 2025? I think that's very unlikely. I think we're going to move into 26, potentially 27 if things don't get too overheated. But where I'd be looking for a real cycle top to really take a lot of profits, to make sure I'm mostly out of the market, is when prices are up a lot in just a few month period. Everybody's super bullish, kind of the opposite as we are now. That's the time you want to worry, not where we're at now. So I hope that answers your question there. I mean, what are your thoughts on that, Kick? Where do you kind of see the market overall with the majors? Kind of what are your thoughts on the where we're at kind of in the cycle?
You asking me?
Yes,
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Yeah, there is no sign of top in the market since we are forming a higher low all the time. So if a lower low doesn't come, we are bullish until proven bearish. I don't know. This is my thesis.
100%. Yeah, so I think Sol's approaching there. ETH, same kind of thing. I think we're really going to see ETH go crazy here.
Yeah, everything will go to the upside now. Yeah, really soon.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys remember we talked about in this stream last week that ETH very likely that this correction was going to look very similar to June and July. And I mean, that's exactly what's playing out. Same kind of thing with the correction in June and July for Bitcoin, where it was more coiled up in this kind of corrective channel, whereas ETH in June or July kind of made this big sharp move down. I mean, we're seeing the exact same thing play out here. So I expect ETH to continue to climb over 5K, and I think we're going to see a very strong Q4 into 2026. And if and when I think Bitcoin goes to all time highs, I think we're going to see an influx of kind of normie capital in for the first time. And this time, I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of big names, not just like the same, kind of washed up celebrities, but like bigger names, big podcasts, big everything kind of enter the space because they're not worried about getting, caught up by the SEC. I'm talking about legitimate business owners, like legitimate brands, all of that different stuff. I think we're going to see companies potentially buy NFT companies and launch tokens. I think we're going to see a lot of existing companies really try a lot of stuff in crypto and NFTs and stuff that they weren't able to do in 24 and 25. And what that's going to create is big runners. And obviously, runners bring in people and get people interested in crypto. So I think that's what's happening in 25, Q4, and into 26, especially, which obviously is going to create some huge moves in the meme coins. So let's go to move on to that. I'll go, okay. And by the way, I'll just go and do a bit of a reset. If you guys are hopping in right now, we're about 30 minutes in. Already have had about 1,100 people on here at some point. So amazing. Love to see that, guys. If you guys are just tuning in, we're here with my boy Kick Charts going over kind of what we see the market doing in Q4 and in 2026. We're about to go over some memes, CCM, a lot of other good stuff. Definitely check us out on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram there at the top. Pretty much all at Bren Trades, except I think TikTok has two S's, just like Twitter. I think we said we have a comment from the YouTube. Let me see where that go. Okay, Darius, shout out to you, Darius. I don't know how you if you found us on the YouTube or if you're from Twitter, but thank you so much for the question. He asked, "Hey guys, picking up crypto in this Q4. What are your thoughts and how also influential is TA to crypto? Really want to pick it up and grow and continue learning and growing." Awesome, Darius. That's what's up, brother. You're definitely you're getting into
That's a
crypto.
great question, man.
Yeah, it's a great question, and you're getting into crypto at an amazing time. I think we're kind of in the sweet spot with crypto where it's established, it's been around for multiple years. You're getting all the big institutions in the world coming in, but we're coming off a big correction where a lot of great coins are still down 50, 60, 75% and have a lot of upside. So shout out to you, bro, for getting involved right now. Picking up crypto, what are your thoughts? My thoughts is I think crypto, again, is in that sweet spot where prices are still relatively low, but we're about to enter what I think is going to be a true adoption cycle for crypto, where there's going to be true adoption. We're already seeing it for stable coins. We're already seeing it for what's it called? Already seeing it for prediction markets. We're already seeing a lot of these apps actually start to be used by average people. And what that's going to create is a lot of opportunity in the industry in general. So it's just, you're in at a great time. As far as TA goes, so I would just say all TA is not created equal, right? I think TA generally, especially as long as it's not a meme coin that's been around for like 2 hours, traditionally on TA,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, if there's only fucking 30 minutes of chart data, like of course you're not gonna be able to do anything. But Darius pretty much, at least to the stuff I look at, which is more just structure corrective patterns, stuff like that, which I'll go over here in a second. TA is generally gonna work. The same kind of TA using fibs, all that different stuff, which I don't really use, but that kind of stuff is generally going to work on crypto. Is not really much different, especially in most of these liquid coins. So TA definitely definitely applicable, especially on Bitcoin, ETH, Sol, all that kind of stuff. These coins generally move. There's a lot of volatility, but they'll generally move the same as equities, forex, all that different stuff. But Darius, I really appreciate the question, bro. Definitely, if you're not already, add me on Twitter at Bren Trades. Shoot me a DM, and I'll definitely shoot you some good info. And check out the on Twitter in the bio. My Boss Man Calls Telegram channel, which is a Telegram channel I co-own with my business partner, Boss Man. We've been growing it for about 2 years now. I post all my in-depth, trade ideas, tips and tricks, some streams stuff in there as well. So thank you so much for the question, Darius. I'm glad you found us, man. Definitely shoot me a DM on Twitter. When you say mostly out, do you just convert to USDT or something, or do you actually cash out? Amazing fucking question as well. So it just depends really where we're at in the cycle. It depends on your personal goals. I'll just go ahead and tell you kind of what I do, especially at this time. So I'm a big believer in Bitcoin and Ethereum, and that especially over the next 10 or 20 years that they're going to go a lot higher. I think they're essentially the S&P 500 and the equities, like the stock index trades like in the 90s and the 2000s. That's what ETH and Bitcoin is now. I think they're going to go way higher for a lot longer. So I am taking a lot of my profits back in ETH and Bitcoin. But I am definitely taking some profits into stable coins as well. So for me, I take about 75% of my profits back into Bitcoin, ETH, and Sol, especially the last few years, and then about 25% of that back into stables. What that's going to allow you to do is, again, you want to build up some stable coins, some lifestyle chips, whatever, take some profits off of the board, but as well as it gives you dry powder in case of these times right here. I feel like a lot of people just full ported AI and just got rinsed, and a lot of people don't have the dry powder to buy these obvious corrections, right? So to answer your question, I think it's about finding a balance for both. For me, I go heavily into Bitcoin, ETH, and Sol because I'm a big believer in the next few years are going to be big for those assets. But for you, that might be the opposite. You might be 70% stables, 30% majors. I've seen people, in the NFT game, for example, Cyrus NFT. There's people who, who at least back in the day was just going fully into stables and kind of worked very well for them. It just might be different for you. It just depends on your goals. But for me, generally, I like to do a balance of both. Juicy plays. What's up, brother? Bren, do you like Litecoin moving like XRP soon? So I think typically we're going to get an influx of a lot of the normie retail people that haven't been in the market since 2022. I think a lot of those names are going to start coming back in, and that's why we're starting to see Doge, Litecoin. A lot of these coins start to move up. Personally, I think Doge is going to smash $1, especially if Elon starts picking up any type of talking about it. But to answer your question, Litecoin, I expect Litecoin to get outperformed by a lot of other stuff, probably fall further down on the coin market cap list, like the total market cap list. But with that being said, I think a lot of these, especially with it breaking above this consolidation of a few years, I wouldn't be surprised to see Litecoin, XRP especially, start to take off. And again, what this is going to be a reflection of is a lot of these same normies coming into the market again for the first time in a long time. So yeah, XRP especially looks really fucking nice. I have a long position on XRP right now. Hold on, where's my XRP chart? Uh, so yeah, it's already moving up out of this correction. I expect XRP, a lot of these other coins to really start to explode in the coming months. But Kick, did you ever trade any like traditional XRP, ADA, any of that stuff? Or do you kind of go straight for memes in Bitcoin?
No, no, I skipped this stuff.
Nice, nice. Uh,
But in the future, when I will have more capital, I will for sure invest in some of the bigger coins.
yeah, no, absolutely. Because I think a lot of these traditional TradFi investors are going to come in and start to buy into these lower down into the risk curve, and that's kind of the stuff that's going to get bought up a lot.
Yeah, happens every time.
Yeah. Pretentious Bear says, "Thanks, Brennan Kick. Appreciate the insights, of course, bro."
Appreciate you.
Lovely breakdown. The stream is for everyone, new or old heads. That's what's up. Love to hear that. LMO says, "I'm only cashing out money to stuff I really need. Like I stabled some and cashed out to get my new home for me and a wife and kids. The rest will remain in USDC as I take profits." Wow, congratulations, brother. Amazing on the home. That's
Good job, man.
yeah, that should be an
Shout
inspiration.
out Elidmo. Shout out.
Yeah, Ella, we need to have Ella on the show too. He's a
Yeah,
great
yeah,
guy.
of course.
I know you guys are working together with Mind Games. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's a it's like a closed team, closed group that shares alpha insights, charts, has some wallets, stuff like that. I'm very
Awesome.
new to this, so I have not yet discovered it, but I will.
Right on. Um, awesome. Yeah, no, Ella can tell us in the comments. Is this owned by FOMO or no? Or is he like
Yeah,
okay, it's FOMO's group.
my boy Nez is running the account. Nez Gaps, if you know him.
Okay, yeah.
Shout out to Nez.
I did see you post about him today. I shot him a follow, so shout out to him. Um, awesome. Yeah, no, definitely check this out. I know Ella and I'm working with that. But congratulations to you, brother. That should be inspirational to a lot of people. Again, definitely take some lifestyle chips off the house, especially if you have enough money to buy a house and you've been meaning to for a while, especially if you have a family and all that. Right now, before we get into it too much into it, I think the number one skill set that everybody should be learning right now and be dialing the fuck in right now is profit taking. Right? I feel like everybody, even people who are or super green and super new to crypto, can find a good play every once in a while, but very few people are great at taking profits or at least realize those gains. So if
Yeah,
you're in this stream right now, or you're just whatever you're at all, if you don't have a profit taking system set up right now, that's what you should be doing today. For me, I'll just go and tell you a little bit about mine. I started kind of this idea a couple years ago when I was like a lot of people round tripping or selling everything too early. I started kind of a profit taking system called ABTPP, always be taking partial profits, where essentially the system is you're focusing on taking partial profits on the way up based on certain milestones that you set up ahead of time. Meaning,
yeah.
um, you know, what that does is allows us to lock in gains, get risk free, which does a lot for your mental when you don't have to worry about, you know, losing money, and then locks in some gains, but still allows you to keep some of that coin in case it continues to the upside. So you have to set up those milestones. For me, I'm trading bigger swings. So I'm targeting 3 to 5x. I'm taking 25% off. 10x. I'm taking 25% off. 15x, so on and so forth. And again, what that allows you to do is lock in gains while still holding some of that coin in case it keeps going. So right now, if you're listening to the stream, that's what I would be focusing on. Besides the how your portfolio is set up is profit taking, profit taking, profit taking.
You just have to press the sell button to make it.
Yeah, but yeah, you got to have that system set up that tells you when to sell, or else you're going to be at the whim of your emotions. Human greed and all that is
These emotions are very strong, man.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
TA on Soul. Yeah, let's look at Soul really quick. So, um, back here we were seeing again Soul consolidating for a bit more, put in a nice higher low, and then it's just sending. I expect Soul to bounce. I expect Soul to close about the all time high and probably send to at least 300 from here. And I mean, that's just the all time high. I would not be surprised again if we get that strong 2025, 2026 to see Soul 2x the all time high, which would be 500. I think really right now, I think these coins are going to go way higher. It's really impossible to tell whether ETH goes to 7, 8, 9, 10K, or it goes to 6. Like, who knows how euphoric this period is? I think there's a good case to be made that it may be stronger than anything we've seen in a long time. But generally on the majors, Bitcoin, ETH, and Sol, I think we go much higher and probably see multiples above the all-time high, at least on Sol, well above the all-time high on ETH. And again, which is going to ignite what I think is going to be a big meme and altcoin season in the next few months, which I'm really excited about. Let's see. Sweet, thanks. I was really asking for tax purposes. I'm trying not to cash out. Yeah, that's another thing, bro. And that's why buying and holding is great too. Is every time that you sell technically is a tax event. Um, so that's definitely something you want to be aware of. Do you think Lofi can pull Pengu moves? I don't know about Pengu moves, but I really like the Lofi team, and I think that Sui is going to get some kind of meme coin resurgence. So I like Lofi here. What are the low cap coins you would advise me to hold for a long term? Low cap. Low
What do you
cap.
mean by low cap?
Yeah, it just depends what you mean by low cap. I think for me, there's a lot of great coins in like between 50 to 100 and like 100 to like couple hundred million right now, and I think this is something that uh Kick and I will agree on. I think USDUC would probably fit that criteria.
Yeah,
Still, kind of
USDC is my favorite low to mid cap at the moment.
amazing. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think this would considered at least amongst most people or amongst a lot of people to still be kind of low cap. I've been very adamant on how bullish I am on stablecoin because of the movement, the great team, and everything behind it. But it's like besides the charts, or might just be the charts for you. What are some things that make you really bullish on unstable coins versus a lot of these other coins out there?
um, the narrative is just too good, man. I don't know. The stablecoin super cycle is something that is happening for the first time,
Yeah,
and this meme can do really good uh, in the future.
yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I think the
It's
stable
simple. I don't overthink it. It's just simple. It's unstable coin. I mean,
exactly.
what can go wrong with that?
Right? Yeah, no, I think it has everything, like checks all the boxes for me. I think it's a
Yeah, I'm like, if this coin is not gonna it's not gonna make it, I will be buying Bitcoin and never trade again in my life. I'm telling you
let's
that.
go. I'm a meme lover and found bags pretty interesting. What can you say about that? Have you been studying the bags ecosystem at all too? Probably not, right? Because
No, no, not too much, not too
yeah,
much.
so bagged ecosystem I think is really interesting. I think again, I haven't studied this like crazy, just kind of read a bit about it a couple weeks ago, but I think there's going to be a lot of new people trying to launch coins in different kind of areas, and I think Pump Fund is going to dominate as an all-purpose slash streaming launch pad. I think you're going to have Bonk probably still be up there, and then stuff like bags. I think bags and launch or bags and Believe app are very interesting because they're more niche launch pads, where they're more at least the ICM stuff with the Believe app is more just companies, and bags. For those of you guys don't know, is essentially someone can start a meme coin, I believe, for another account or like a Twitter account. And then that Twitter account, if they choose, can come and claim that coin. I believe there's like some kind of mechanism where they can claim some of that meme coin. So it essentially allows people to opt in to a coin created for them. I know that's probably a bad explanation, but I think it's a super interesting. And personally, I don't know if bags and all this stuff, but I think there's going to be demand and enough demand for a number of these different launch pads. So I really think Believe is interesting. Bags is definitely one to keep an eye on as well. Punked, let me know in the chat what you're kind of thinking about bags. But we have some TA guys, trenches experts, wallet tracking, bot sniping us. That's what's up. Taking profit is what people have to learn to do. Yeah, absolutely. Beyond B on chain team has been going crazy. Brad, have you or kicked traded BNB coins on chain the past few weeks? Like 4 giggles. So yeah, no. So I just started kind of bridging over to BSC the last few days. I've been, like I said, been sick as hell. So really been taking it easy as far as any kind of trading. But I'm definitely paying attention now. Definitely where a lot of money is going to be at. I don't think it'll be just BNB. I think a lot of these Soul coins are going to bounce back like crazy, but I think there will be some money in the BNB trenches. And anybody who was around in 2021 knows how crazy it got. So definitely something to keep an eye on. I wouldn't completely neglect Soul. I think there's the most obvious plays right now are in USDC, MOG, SPX, Giga, ticker Bitcoin. A lot of these coins that have been around for a year plus now and are still down 50%. So, what can you say about Pump? Pump, I think, let me see. Kick, do you trade Pump or buy Pump at all? Or
No, I just started.
you said you what?
No, I haven't, but I just like to chart it,
Oh, okay.
because this has an influence on the pump tokens.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I
no,
think
this
it's primed. I think it's primed for a new all-time highs.
yeah, no, I do. I think so too. I think this nice corrective correction, and then that this like 4 or 5 days of consolidation there, I think was the giveaway. I added a bit on here, took a little bit of profits up top, but yeah, I think Pump is going to go way higher from here. I think again because of I think Bitcoin going up usually leads to the trenches and the Pump fund just by itself, even without the streaming heating back up. Plus, I think all it would take is one or two mid or high level streamers to come in and create some runners in the CCM realm to where those two things together, I think Pump is going to go way fucking higher from here. So 2.4 billion, I wouldn't be surprised to see this at 10 billion here in the next few months if things get, you know, continue to heat
Crazy.
up. Yeah. Yeah, I think the flywheel once the pump trenches start picking up again, it'll be pretty nuts. So yeah, I'm bullish on Pump from here. Bossman calls, I missed this bull run, bro. What's good major to buy now? I had 10K. Um, I think right now your most bang for your buck is going to be in those movement memes, the USDUCs, the MOG, SPX, Giga, Bitcoin, stuff like that. But I
Yeah,
would take.
focus
Go ahead.
focus on established memes and try to recognize some corrective setups. That's all. And yeah,
Exactly.
do the thing.
Absolutely. Um, but yeah,
Sorry that I interrupted you, Brent.
no, 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 no. Definitely, I love the insight. Yeah, I would take like 5 to 10 coins and that you really have conviction in, and spread it amongst there, and take profits on the way up. Um, 2021 was crazy off BNB, yeah, for sure. So I'm sure the people want to know, like, what I know I see your posts a lot. You talk a lot about corrective chart setups, but like, kind of what are some kind of how what kind of style would you say you are as like a trader in your charts? What are some tools or indicators at all that you use, or do you kind of just look at kind of market structure, kind of like I do? Tell us a little bit about your chart style.
Yeah, I really like to focus on Fibonacci retracements. I
Okay.
really like to buy something when it retraces to 0.6061.
Okay.
Uh, I like to recognize and chase inverse head and shoulders, bull flags, falling wedges. Um, and when the setup is correct, when we have a breakout and a retest, I like to, sell some on the breakout, enter again on the retest, on every time frame. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Um, and then when I'm riding risk free, I like to check MACD sometimes
Okay.
to check if we have some divergence, and I I sell or buy more. It depends on the indicators. I assign MACD. These are the tools I use.
Okay. So MACD is your main indicator. Um,
Yeah, plays I think it plays a significant role in the trends.
Perfect. Yeah. So it seems like you don't overcomplicate it. You use like kind
No, no,
of
no. I just
yeah.
see higher low. Okay, I buy. Lower
Awesome.
low.
Yeah.
Okay, I cut some. It's so simple.
Exactly. I mean, the best traders and the best investors and stuff I've found are ones that use simple principles like that. Like myself, I don't use any indicators. Most of the people I know don't unless they're doing like kind of higher frequency trading,
Yeah,
stuff like that. So yeah, I mean the best traders, investors I've found again are people that keep it simple, that use kind of market structure type of things, whether it be the wedges and stuff like he's talking about, or there's a number of different ways to make it, but kind of keeping it simple in that way. And then I think a lot of it, obviously market psychology and how the sentiment and everything plays into it. Obviously on these streams and on my tweets, you'll hear me talk a lot about how the crowd tends to get just how the markets tend to move in psychology and human psychology works and all that, how the sentiment of the crowd tends to get the most very bearish at the very bottom and extreme bullishness at the
yeah.
very top. This is something we see time
That's why
and time again.
That's why you only have to focus on the charts. It's all there. Every emotion, every fear, every greed, it's all there. You just have to recognize the patterns. If you trade the patterns, you can play the game. And
Exactly.
don't listen to anyone. Just focus on the chart. The timeline
Absolutely.
and city is good because you can check the general sentiment and trade against it. This is how you win. When it's
Exactly.
quiet, you just buy.
100%. You got to have a system, whether it be chart system, profit taking system, that allows you to eliminate all that emotion. Because most people,
Yeah,
most
taking profits is very important. Though. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. Most people, their entire viewpoint and bias on crypto is made up of the last few weeks or few months of price action, and not even price action like what Kick is saying, where he looks at highs, lows, wedges, all that. Just literally, if price is down for the last few months or few years, I'm bearish. Like people just literally base it strictly off of what the price action's done recently. And the only way you escape that is setting up a system, whether it be profit taking or chart system, that allows you to see through that. Because it just gets the reason why most people never make money in crypto, I feel like, is because the times that when you should be buying the last few months, everybody is extremely fucking bearish, telling you, oh, we're going lower. It's very hard. It feels very uncomfortable. Like somebody like me, I'm so fucking bullish. Like I'm numb to this shit. Even me, like it feels uncomfortable buying sometimes during these times. That's why
yeah,
most
it's
people don't
normal.
make.
It's normal. It's human emotions. You can't just ignore your emotions at all. But you have to try. When chart is so shit, you have to buy. You have to try. What if I buy now and don't, you know, get shaken out and just hold? What will happen? Try it once.
Yeah, 100%. And no, yeah, that's a great point. So I think yeah, setting up those systems ahead of time now will allow you to escape. Most people, like I was saying, most people don't make money because when it's the time you should be buying, it's very uncomfortable, and the time you should be selling, it's very hard to sell, or most people are just extremely bullish. So you kind of already answered my question there, so I'm stoked on that. BNB coins are going. Which coins are you holding or planning to buy? So I definitely am holding Aster. I think Aster is going to continue to grind up. Posted a long setup in the Telegram channel a few days ago, which is going into to profit now strongly. To me, this was just an obvious corrective channel here.
Yeah,
Super
one
obvious.
hundred percent, 100, super obvious. Yeah,
Did you play? Have you played Aster at all?
I traded a bit, but I'm out now. I hold only few coins.
Now, are you trading with leverage or are you just doing spot?
No, no, no. I don't use leverage. Just what
Okay, right on.
I
Uh,
want to reduce my risk the most I can.
right on. Yeah, I think Aster is going to continue to grind higher. It doesn't matter if it's a meme coin, anything outside of Bitcoin. Really, what is it? All of this is an attention game, right? None of these things are backed by any fucking underlying assets. A lot of the buyback stuff that's going on is interesting, but for the most part, these coins are driven by attention, right? And Aster
Yeah,
has the biggest one of the biggest attention drivers in crypto. CZ continuing to put attention on it. The perp dex meta is obviously super strong right now. I think this continues to grind up as conditions improve. So I'm long from about, I think, 1.7, 1.8, and I will be taking 25% off or about 30% off of my long at the all-time highs and setting stops to break even. So yeah, I think Aster moves way higher. Uh, Obviously
yeah.
take profits on the
Seems
way
like
up.
it.
Take profits on the way up though. Um, Darius asked, "My port is really small, and I full ported into USDUC. So I'll kick in his analysis." Oh wow, kick. So Darius knows kick then.
Oh,
That's
I think he's on my Telegram. I think.
That's what's up. Yeah, definitely. I'll let you do that in a second. But he saw kick in his analysis and was very convinced it will move up. Can you ask what are some factors that will affect USDC price going up? It's an amazing question. I'll let Kick answer that too. But for me, USDUC, I like to do two things. I'm a big chart guy, just like Kick as well. I look for corrective chart patterns, stuff like that. But other than that, I'm really big on movement memes. Obviously, meme coins, there's a lot of meme coins that are based around singular events or people. While I think those can be bullish for a time, and some of them are long term coins, most of them are
So then, when the hype goes down, they just go to zero.
exactly. Most of them are
Mm.
just die with the hype. but there's a select few coins that are movement memes where it's not based around a singular person or animal or any of that. It's based around a movement where they have a bigger purpose and drive for it. Unstable coin is kind of a not a parody but play, but like kind of whatever around USD around stable coins, as well as it has a very strong movement of people who are raiding who have their PFPs as the unstable thing. Just a very strong movement, and I think that is going to again drive a lot of attention to the coin when there's a lot of demand for meme coins. So what I would tell you is it's coming out of a beautiful corrective chart pattern where if you just look left here, this is a sign of a very healthy coin, one that moves up a lot, but every week or so we'll see a nice correction, a nice coil up. Again, we talked about this on the top of the show, but these coil ups in these corrections allow for the coin to move to cool off without getting too overheated. So to answer your question, Darius, I really like USDUC because of its super strong movement, and what's going to drive attention to it, or what's going to affect it going up, is meme coin conditions are going to improve. I think a lot of people, even people in the general public, are going to want to trade meme coins again. And then USDUC is just the community is just really good at driving attention through
Yeah,
rating.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, like they've gotten people like, bigger names like Gainsey. Gainsey that barely ever promotes fucking memes at all, and this guy sees USDUC. Like they're very good at penetrating and getting into the minds of like big creators as well, big names. Rojam also always contributes to the stream. Love to see you here. He asked, I would also add, if you're into too many coins, it's going to be difficult to know where to take profits via ABTPP. It's worse if they are different amounts. Also try to calculate the take profit multiples / exits in advance so you can take your emotions. Yeah, 100%. Everybody check out Rojam. This guy's super helpful for those streams. Love this guy as well. Perps Dex meta will keep moving. There's an undervalued played on Soul called URA or Uranus. Are you you're still holding Uranus? Kick?
Yeah, I'm holding some, but I think if we close below 18 mil, I'm gonna cut some. I don't know, something's off. But
Yeah.
again, it has very good chances of playing out. But I don't prefer to hold a position like that at
Yeah,
this
I
moment.
think a lot of people are assuming, and again, I'm not like super into the community, but what I think a lot of people attribute that Meow is just going to pump this. But from what I understand, they're not really directly involved in it really at all, and they have no, they have
Maybe they're not involved, but they can run it if they want.
yeah,
They
exactly.
can,
They
but
have
I don't know.
what's it called? They don't have to pump it. Pretty much is what I'm saying.
Yeah, they don't have to.
But they don't.
Yeah, they don't have to at all.
Doesn't mean they don't, but I will say this actually looks very coiled, and actually, even though it's 75%, this is what you want to see. If you're going to look at a 75% correction, you want to see it where it's very coiled and choppy. What that tells me
Yeah,
again is even though price is going down, that there's still people accumulating. This is still
yeah,
very
it's
choppy.
pretty corrective. But
Yeah, exactly.
if we see a drop below 18 mil with volume, I think that would be a bad sign.
Yeah, no, I mean, definitely could see if it was like a fat red candle, but what I've seen so far is just choppy corrective behavior, which tells me I think it will at least bounce out of this correction. Does it go back to all-time highs from there? We'll see. But
Yeah, hopefully.
yeah, we'll see. Saw you mention farming for airdrops. Yes. So we'll go over that briefly. There's just been this has been a bit of a different stream. We've had a guest on here. It's been fucking amazing to hear to do questions and answers.
Thank
So
you again, Bren. Thank you again for this.
of course, man. We'll definitely have to have you on soon here again. But what I was gonna say though, I will definitely go over the base stuff. What I would be saying right now, I made a tweet yesterday where if you're new to crypto or if you have under 100K portfolio, I would be using both abstract chain and base right now. And quote unquote farming the airdrops. Really, all you have to do to farm these airdrops is by using the chain. And these are ETH L2s, so they're very cheap to use, right? So if you put $100 on the chain, you can really get a lot out of these. And the great thing is that especially abstract right now is being very slept on. I know it was very popular a few months ago, but I think a lot of people stopped kind of using it. but I think it's going to be one of the biggest airdrops. Um, Luca has talked about a few times how he wants to make the abstract airdrop one of the biggest airdrops of all time, and how it's being underused right now. I believe if people who have been using it for the last few months, and even people who are using it for the next month, have a good shot at getting a 4 or 5 figure airdrop pretty easily. Again, for just using the apps. Abstract, you can go on and pretty much play all the different games. Some of them cost money, most of them don't. There's different NFTs you can buy on there for really cheap. I would just try as many different things as possible and be using it every day for the next few weeks, or next few months, however long it takes for the airdrop to come out. And then base as well, is use there's a base chain, but the biggest way you're going to be able to farm the base chain airdrop is by using the base app. So download the base app. I don't know if they've opened it completely to the public yet. You should be able to get an invite pretty quick, easily, and just use that. Use a bunch of the mini apps, make as many transactions on the chain. And then one more thing, use Zora as well. Zora is another app on Base that you can essentially use for free that will give you a lot of transactions on the chain. More transactions and more usage will give you a higher likelihood of getting an airdrop. And I think a lot of people are sleeping on this, especially if you only have hundreds or thousands of dollars in the market. This could be something that gives you that, provides you that capital to really, kickstart your journey. Um, what else? Let's see. CCM coins, though, I think we've talked about this a few weeks, over the weeks. I think what's going to happen with CCM as far as the pump streaming goes, I think we're going to see a few big names come in. What that's going to do is create a big couple runners, and we're going to see the whole mark or the whole kind of space kind of take off. I think, and what that's going to do is these coins, the stream season, the Alex Becker coin, Bun coin, a lot of these coins that have continued to stream, I think a lot of them are going to 10x plus out of the ashes. So I don't want to go too much into it. I want to hear what Kick has to thinks about the whole meta, but I think Gainsey stream, uh, Bun coin, uh, stream season, yeah, stream season, which is again Alex Becker's coin. Hold on. Uh,
Um, I don't think that I don't know. I'm not very bullish on stream coins. I just don't find it interesting enough. I don't know.
yeah, no, I mean that's fair. I think again, I think streaming. I
I
think
think they're a short hype. I don't know.
Yeah, like most things, most of the shit's gonna go to zero. A lot of the people are gonna fucking rug, and a lot of people are gonna come in and do all that. But I think
Yeah,
streaming is so massive, and I think the creator rewards literally incentivize these streamers to come in without having to dump on their audience. Of course, a lot of them will, but there's a lot of people like this guy Buncoin, this guy Bunny Fufu, who's like a
yeah. He's a League of Legends player, I think.
yeah, and he's come in. He's already a streamer in the traditional world, and then he came in to Pump Fun, and he made $300,000 in creator rewards without having to sell any of the coin. So I think we're going to see a lot of these creators, probably the mid level creators first, and come, come in and start these things. I think what that's going to do is create a couple $100 million runners, and at that point, that's what's going to get everybody really interested. And of course, it's a much different game than the meme stuff, but I think with streaming, how big it is and how just a few famous people, or not even famous, few big names coming in, I think is going to ignite the meta. And I
Yeah, for
existing,
sure they can onboard a lot of new people
yeah, and I think even
on
if you're
the
not
meme
into it,
space.
yeah, exactly. Even if you're not into it, and that's totally fine. Like it's not for everybody. I think it could, like you just said, bring people into the meme space and get them into the to other stuff as well.
Yeah,
So I really like Buncoin.
they're pretty good at onboarding. That's for sure.
Exactly. I like Buncoin stream season. Anybody who you found has been consistently streaming might be a good bet. But yeah, I think stream season by Alex Becker, for example, he's given away over 100, $500,000, has 1 million followers on Pump Fun. I think stuff like that is gonna 10x probably. But with that being said, most of the runners in that narrative probably haven't come out yet. Sorry if it's a dumb question, but what is a good difference between perp and spot trading? So perp trading, Darius, is leverage trading, where essentially,
You
uh,
trade with money that they don't belong to you.
Exactly. You're essentially borrowing money every time to where if price goes a certain amount against you, you can get liquidated. So where spot coins, you buy it, you're essentially down the amount that the coin is up or down. You can't lose it all. But leverage, if it goes a certain price against you, whether that you're in a long and it goes down a certain amount against you, or you're in a short and it goes up a certain amount against you, you can get liquidated and essentially lose your whole account. So it's a way to essentially make money, make more, and kind of amplify your gains on the way up. But it has the same effect on the way down. If you're wrong and it goes against you, you can lose money, lose everything essentially.
It's very risky. I recommend the new people that started trading, and me also, uh, like the previous months or 1 or 2 years, just to stay away or use very low leverage, especially when you're not good at starting and stuff like that.
Absolutely, you want to be if you're gonna mess with leverage at all, make sure it's a very small percentage of your port until you're very a lot more proficient.
And make sure to check the brain Telegram channel for the market, and then act.
Hell yeah. Now, Kick. Let's see here. So you're obviously on Twitter. You have your Telegram group. Definitely, if you guys haven't already, check out Kick's Telegram. I joined it, I think, a couple weeks ago. He's posting a lot of great stuff in there, a lot of great updates. I mean, do you want to tell him a little bit about your Telegram and what you post in there?
uh, yeah, my main routine is based on Twitter. Uh, the Telegram is something more for me, more personal. I post more thoughts, some more personal thoughts
Okay.
that I don't want to spam the timeline in Twitter. But
Okay.
in general, it's the same stuff you see on X.
Right on. So it's more of just like a journal, like your kind of trading journal that,
Yeah, yeah, some personal thoughts, stuff like that.
right on. Yeah. Kick is one of my, like, one of the few people on X that I like really like pay attention to their charts and learn a lot from too. Being a chart guy, I think he's definitely somebody to keep an eye on, and definitely you guys need to shoot him a follow. I definitely want to have you on here again soon. Um,
Yeah, we can arrange it again.
so Telegram, anywhere else that they can find you, or is it mostly just X and Telegram for now?
That's it for now. X and Telegram.
Right on. Hawk says, "Yo, Bren, what's up? You want to hear about airdrops?" Yeah, so I think base and abstract are the two main ones, but there's a lot of other ones too. I'm gonna put out a guide in the Telegram and I'll put it on Twitter too for the next few weeks. But Hawk, I'm sure you heard a second ago. I would just be using the base app, and abstract as much as you can. How much are these airdrops? It depends. Some of them are going to be bigger than others. Abstract, I think, is going to be very large. I'd expect base to be very big, but you want to make sure to be having a lot of transactions in. Best trenching tip: 5 to 100K coins. I don't really trade super low cap coins like that. Do you trade like new launches like that, like 100K coins?
No, no.
No. Okay. Is
I just
farming?
don't. I don't find it interesting enough. I don't know.
Yeah, me too. I think it's just a completely different game of more of a. It is more gambling, right? It's a lot of.
I believe, yeah, exactly. I believe if you're a full-time trencher, I believe trenching is closer to gambling than leverage trading is, my opinion.
Absolutely. Especially there's the people out there that have social capital, like they're getting their copy traders, and you can use like their following to their advantage and
Yeah,
whatever.
this is crap, man. No, no, no way.
Yeah, and it whatever. Yeah, it's there's certain ways, but again, the average person with no social capital, for sure, it's definitely more of a game of chance. Doesn't mean there's nothing you can learn. There's definitely a lot of
You
some
can, yeah, yeah,
there's definitely some outliers that do very well, but I think that game is kind of top heavy with very few people at the top making a lot, and then most people having the results of like a gambler, right? And again, that's
yeah,
not to discourage you, but I would just number one thing. There's nothing wrong with playing with that stuff, but I would just make sure to have your bags packed in the great movement memes, other stuff that has a much better chance of 10xing your port, and then using the other 10 or 20% on that other shit.
yeah, exactly.
Um, we'll finish off a few of these questions here. They said, is farming Aster airdrop a good idea? If you're gonna be using a lot, like if you're gonna use a lot of volume and you're gonna be trading a lot on the decks, then and putting in a lot of volume, then it probably is worth it. And you're already trading perps, then yeah, there's it's probably a good idea to be trading that on Aster. But I'm sure there's a lot at the same time. There's a lot of people doing the same thing, so I wouldn't expect something to be too crazy. Based is a good bet. Yeah, I think based the based house. A lot of these accounts or a lot of these coins and streams that are well connected to the Pump Fund team, like based, I think will do well. By the way, I've noticed several announcements from crypto wallets like Mask and Phantom to issue Mastercards. I think it will be a game changer. Yeah, all this stuff is bullish, dude, for normies. Brendan Kick. Now we are all at all time highs, expecting any pullbacks here for the market. At all time highs, there's a lot of times volatility, but I expect higher from here, barring something catastrophic.
Yeah,
Definitely,
we'll go higher from here for sure. But the last move was very very sharp. So someone could say that a bit of a pullback can happen right now for 1 or 2 days, and up only after that.
yeah, for sure. You definitely don't want to max long at the fucking top or anything. But
Yeah,
if you want to farm abstract, make sure you're making an account on the abstract portal so you can learn. Yeah, that's it. It's abstract's more straightforward because it gives you like a portal um, with XP and all that. So I'm definitely gonna make a guide on all of that. But yeah, if you guys are just pulling up, make sure to like, comment, retweet, bookmark the stream. We're about to finish up here, but it's been an amazing fucking stream with my guy Kick here. We heard a little bit about his story and his journey. Definitely run that back if you haven't already. I think it's his journey is definitely relatable to a lot of people, especially people who haven't really crossed found that first success yet. I think can really learn from his story. So definitely run that back. We talked a little bit about Bitcoin, ETH, and Sol. I think generally we are going to be off to the races here heading into 2026. I'm extremely fucking excited. I think everything is pointing to a very strong 2026, and potentially, if all the stars align, maybe the strongest period for crypto we've ever seen. I think the regulatory clarity and what that's going to allow for people to big names and big companies and big creators, what that's going to allow them to do in crypto, I think is going to create a lot of buzz around the industry with the mass adoption and everything. So if you're here at a fucking perfect time. There's no better time to be involved with crypto. Just get the profit taking system dialed. Make sure you're continuing to learn, continuing to pay attention. Get on these streams. Check out the Boss Man Calls Telegram channel, the Kick Charts Telegram channel. Continue to learn from people who have the results that you want, or at least who are consistent. Give yourself a few years, and there's no fucking reason why you can't completely change your life. Like I've talked a little bit about this, but like 3 or 4 years ago. Like I've been doing crypto for 9 or 10 years, almost 10 years now. 2020, 2021 cycle, I found my first success. Had to start over in whatever 2022, 2023, continuing to grind. And now, I'm not anything special, but I've, able to help my family now, made multiple seven figures this year, have a Telegram channel of over 40,000 people. Like a couple years ago, I literally felt like I had to completely start over. So my whole point in saying this is, if you feel like you lost everything this year, you're literally just getting started. There's nothing stopping you from literally the next year or two going from zero to everything you've ever fucking dreamed of. And that's not on some cliche shit. We've seen Kick do it, myself do it, a bunch of people from all over the fucking industry do
yes,
it.
because you can do it if you really try. If you try hard, you can do it. Don't stop. If you see progress on yourself, don't stop. Show up
Absolutely.
every day. Show up every day. Try new things. Make mistakes. But in the end of the day, you will see that you can do it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't say it any better myself. Literally just keep going, continuing to learn, focus on those skills, learn from your mistakes, and next few years.
Ask people, DM people about TA, or if anything, if you get questions, ask DM me. I can help you. I can provide you. I can show you what books I have read. Uh, I have also I have my personal course on Udemy
Oh, also,
about TA and stuff, the basic stuff I use. Pretty much is simple stuff that keep you on track. That they're able to you can read the market at all times, and yeah, so it's a nice cover up of the basics.
only
I made it back in
29.99.
April.
You get all this for only $29.99. That's amazing, bro. Definitely, guys, definitely check this out.
Yeah,
That's amazing. Honestly, I've loved having you on here so much. We definitely need to do it again in the next few weeks. I'm sure the
yeah,
people
for
let
sure.
it
Yeah, yeah, Brian.
let us know in the chat, guys, if you enjoyed the stream, what you learned. Again, we're gonna be back. I was, like I said, super sick this last week, but I will be back on Tuesday. Gonna start to do streams about four to start out 4 times a week. I'll announce that schedule here soon. Gonna put in the face cam. Gonna go all in with everything else. So I really fucking appreciate you guys for being on here. Like I said, if even if you fucking have $0 to your name, you're literally completely fucking sidelined. There's nothing stopping you um, from going from zero to whatever the fuck else. Your wildest dreams in the next few years. Just continue to fucking grind, show up every day, like Kick said, and yeah, definitely reach out to myself, Kick. Turn on post notifications so you don't miss the next stream. And Kick, before we leave, anything else you want to leave with the people?
Thanks everyone who joined the stream. I really appreciate you, Brian, for bringing me up here today. Uh, yeah, much love to everyone. Drop a follow and stay tuned for more.
Hell yeah. We'll definitely have Kick on here again soon. Definitely check out his Telegram, Twitter, all that. And with that, I will see you guys on Tuesday. Have an amazing weekend. Be safe and lock the fuck in. Talk to you guys soon.